I wish I knew how to do makeup better. Oh, that ruined everything. Ooh, I'm nervous. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Oh boy, it has been a while since I have filmed anything. You know how they say, like, riding a bike? How does that saying go? You don't forget how to do it or whatever. I feel like YouTube is so different. For me personally, if I don't film for like 2 weeks, I have no memory of how to like even get the settings right on my camera. So hopefully it's recording. But I am now going to be getting back into filming stuff, so I'm really excited. Very sorry it looks like a floating head's talking to you. I'm wearing my My Chemical Romance sweatshirt because I'm in extreme denial. I guess it really wasn't a phase. Anyway, today we are going to be doing yet another makeup review. I know that I typically do unboxings on this channel, but I'm getting a little bit more into like makeup-y type thingies. So today we're gonna be looking at what's inside this Sephora box right here, which should be the brand new Urban Decay palette. So I personally have actually never tried the original Naked palette from Urban Decay. I know it's like a cult classic, cult favorite. I purchased one for my mom, but I've never tried it. So my opinions on this Naked Reloaded palette might be a little bit different because I feel like most people who are reviewing this palette have tried the original before. So for me personally, I'm going into this little guy here with kind of fresh eyes on the Naked palette. Oh, apparently this might be sold out currently on Sephora.com. I got on here to see the deets about the palette, and it says that it is coming soon, plus it's online only. But apparently this is a reinvention of the original Naked palette, which I've said I've never tried, so I can't really judge it based on that one. Featuring 11 all-new shades and the return of one cult favorite. Ooh, that redefine neutral. So this is going to be a very, very neutral palette. So this is supposed to come with 12 shades in here, and apparently 2 of the pans are larger than the rest. All right, so I have not broken into this yet, and I have not seen anybody else's reviews on it, so I'm really interested in seeing what this is going to look like. I feel like it's a little bit thinner than most of my other Urban Decay palettes. Oh. That is not at all what I was expecting. Oh, I maybe should have looked at the pictures online a little bit or actually looked at somebody else's review, but this is like a couch cushion. So this is incredibly different than any other Naked palette I've ever had. It's like fabric on the outside, like it's spongy, literally like a couch cushion. It feels very much maybe like a polyester settee from the 80s or something. Anyway, so it says Naked Reloaded here on the front in kind of like an applique gold, and then it has some like flowers, I believe those are orchids, on the back, and then also on the back it has all of the ingredients in that same material as like down here. But these are all the colors inside. I do think this is a very pretty palette. It is quite neutral, but there are some shades that are a bit more spicy in there, not exactly just all browns. Oh, interesting. It actually appears that there are more than 2 shades that are larger than the rest here. We have these 2 at this end and these 2 at this end, which are a bit larger than the ones in the middle. Alright, so just for some shade references here, the first one we have is Bribe, which is like a super, super light color, and it blends basically just into my skin. Next up, we have Barely Baked, which is kind of like a golden color. It's also how I liked all of my baked goods, basically just raw dough. Then moving on to the smaller pans here, next we have Angel Fire. And this right here is just kind of like a light shimmery, almost champagne color. And then next up we have Retro, which is kind of like a fun peach. All these seem to be a bit powdery. If you can see in the pans there, just where I kind of scraped my fingers over, you can definitely see some powder kick up. Next up we have Reputation, which is kind of in that same pinky family, but it is a shimmer. After that we have Burn, and this is a very, very pretty color, very pigmented. It's like a nice kind of deep shimmer. Next up we have Endgame, which is like a deep chocolate. Following that we have Dreamweaver. Alright, so this one's actually pretty stiff in the pan and a little bit chunky. I'm noticing in my swatch I'm just kind of getting some of the brown pigment, and like the shimmer that's actually in it is just staying on my finger. So I think this one might need to be applied a little bit differently. Next up here we have Distilled, which is a very pretty shade. It has kind of like a reflectiveness to it. I wouldn't say it's like a metallic or a shimmer really. Maybe. Next up here we have Buck, which I think is going to be one of my favorite shades in the palette. It is a matte, and I think that is a beautiful, beautiful brown. Following that we have Boundaries here, which is another very, very pretty shade. And this one's just a little bit more red and orangey than Buck. Man, my elbow looks weird. And then the very last shade in the palette is called Blur, which looks like it's going to be a fantastic kind of like transition shade because it's so light, but it still has kind of like a nice taupey brown to it. I do really like the little color palette here. It is definitely very neutral, a little bit more on like the warm side of neutral. We do have some more like coppery tones to kind of spice her up a bit. This is, however, just another neutral palette, so if you already have like a lot of neutral eyeshadows, I'm not sure if this is one that you need to like run out and get really fast. We'll see if they just like blend absolutely amazingly and this is like the best neutral palette ever. Alright, so I am going to zoom you guys in and just try to come up with some makeup look with this palette here. As always and forever, I don't have a plan. I don't know what I'm doing. So we'll just play around and see what we can come up with. I have a sneaky suspicion though that it's going to be a neutral makeup look. Zoom, zoom, zoom. It's truly amazing how different the world looks like without glasses on. It's like suddenly I'm seeing through bubble wrap. Right, so my eyes have already been basically prepped. I used some concealer and then just pat them down with a little bit of powder, not too much, just a little bit. And I think the very first thing I'm going to do is go in with this Blur shade on just kind of a fluffy brush. It does pick up quite a bit. This is a Morphe E23. I'm trying to get it to where my mirror's not in there, but I don't think I can. At least get the dirt off of it. These are very soft shades and this like almost looks like my skin tone basically. Oh, and you guys, I'm giving the Tarte, what's it called? Face Tape, the Tarte Face Tape Foundation another try today, and I like it a lot more than the first time I tried it. I used so much less, which I think was very helpful. And I also put like a tiny little drop of oil into it, which helped it like spread around a lot, and it doesn't look like as dry to me, so I'm liking it a lot more than I did in my first review. I'm sweating. It's literally raining ice outside right now and I'm like perspiring. Alright, so that is done and you almost can't see it, but it's there and I think it blended out nicely. There's no gravity between us. Our love is automatic. Alright, so I'm going to deepen the crease here with this Sigma E35 tapered blending brush, and I think I'm going to use this dark Endgame shade. Oh wow. Look at that. And just deepen the, oh my, deepen the crease and the outer edge, I guess. I still don't know what I want to do. I kind of want to use this like peach color because it's just so different in the palette, but I don't know if I've already gone too far and I can't go back. We're gonna try her out. I'm just gonna use, ooh, my. I was not expecting it to be that peach. Okay, the peach is actually having a little bit of a difficult time sticking, so I'm gonna bust out some concealer and put it in the center, just, you know, over top of all the eyeshadow that's already on there. That should work out real good. Okay, the concealer is on. I'm gonna go back in with my finger in that retro shade and bloop, bloop, bloop. Yeah, I'm having a hard time, you guys. Not like that's new or anything, but I can't get that dark brown to stay like dark brown while I'm putting the peach on it. Like as I was applying the peach or the coral, whatever this is, the brown just like kept going away. And now when I get near it with the brown, the peach is going away. Oh, I wish I knew how to do makeup better. Oh, that ruined everything. This is me realizing how much I had messed this up. Hi guys. Okay, so I was having a bit of a difficult time with the coral or peach or whatever you want to call that shade. I think it's a pretty shade, definitely pigmented, but like it wasn't communicating with the rest of the eye look. I also had a really hard time keeping like the brown in place. It kept just going away. I also was going to attempt to put one of these like shimmery peachy coppery tones on top of the little coral here, but these are just too deep to actually like pop on top of the coral. It just made it look darker. Then I tried Angel Fire and honestly it looks really pretty like on my finger, but when I was trying to layer it over shadows it just looked kind of like chunky white. It wasn't really reflecting or anything, so maybe this is something that needs to be applied like more concentrated. I'm not sure. So I'm just gonna start over. I went ahead and just did the same thing I did on that eye. We'll go for a more neutral look, save the peach for another time. I feel like I'm just setting myself up for failure because part of me wants to try out this Dreamweaver shade, and that was the one that was really hard to swatch, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I think I'm gonna go back in with some concealer And this time I'm going to take it all the way from the inner corner to like this part of my eye. This is why you all gotta watch like actual beauty gurus do reviews and stuff, because I'm over here just struggling. Okay, so the concealer is on there. I'm gonna take this little, it's the concealer brush actually from Sigma. This is the F70. Is it meant for this? I don't know. And I'm going to pick up some of this color on the brush and pop that on top of the concealer. The shade's definitely kind of chunky. It looks like it kind of has a bit of almost a, not duochrome, but they're like little almost green flecks in it. I'm just trying to make this brown in the corner look a little bit more intense and kind of blend in that line. I've had a white fall off my face like 50 times, but I don't really see it like staining my skin too much, which is good. Does anybody else's hand look like this while they're doing their eyeshadow? No? I don't think so. All right, I think I'm gonna do some liner. This is from Pretty Vulgar. This is the Ink Blackest Gel Eyeliner, and this is a little small angle brush from Sigma. Oh boy, okay guys, I've struggled with this a little bit. I don't know if it's because I haven't filmed in 2 weeks or I just like literally never used the palette before. This is my first time putting it on my face, so maybe I didn't really know how to work with it well, but I feel like I've been in a fight, like a rousing boxing match. I honestly look a little bit like I've been in a fight as well. But here is what I was able to finally get on my eyes. I feel like I really struggled with a lot of like the shimmery shades in this. I do currently have like a good amount of glitter on my face from where the grayish kind of slate eyeshadow has fallen out. It's glitter. I did try on this eye over here to apply the eyeshadow without any type of concealer. I also tried it with a damp brush and it just was not working for me, so I did go in with concealer on the side to be able to lay down that shimmery, what's it called? Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver. This is kind of like a bold smoky look, but it is neutral, which is what the palette is about. The overall look, I think it's fine. I think it's regular. I wouldn't feel like crazy walking out in public or anything with this on my face. To me, it just looks like a fairly standard smoky eye with a bit of like a dark smoky shimmer in the corner. Nothing too revolutionary. I will go ahead and zoom you guys in a little bit so you can see the shadow. Oh, I almost poked myself in the eye. So you can see the shadow in like a real close-up personal space. Oh, I definitely did not realize the amount of little gray flecks and glitter like all over my face. This is what it looks like on my eye. It definitely had a little bit of blending issues, but when don't I? The eyeliner, you know, it went on okay over top of the shadow, not fantastically, but I think that might be just because the shadow was a bit chunky on my lids. Like I said, to me it looks like a pretty standard smoky eye, nothing too crazy. Alright, so that was my very first take on the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette. I feel like I still definitely need to play around with it more. I felt very defeated while putting on my eyeshadow for some reason today. I almost am considering like not even uploading this video because I did struggle so much. But yeah, now for my final thoughts on the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette. From my first experience with it, I have to say that I did feel a little bit defeated, but I was trying to like go for a more bold look just for the review. I feel like maybe if I was just using this as like an everyday neutrals palette and I used a lot of the mattes, which I thought were really soft, nicely blended, then it might have been a little bit easier to work with and maybe just every now and then like pop a shimmer somewhere in my eyes. I do think that I preferred the matte shades that I used today over the shimmer shades. I haven't really gotten into several of the other kind of like metallic-y shades yet, but the Dreamweaver and the Angel Fire that I used today, they're okay. I think I like Dreamweaver more than Angel Fire. Once I tried to apply that Angel Fire like over top of a shadow, it just looked like kind of chunky white instead of like shimmery. I definitely think I'll probably end up using the mattes, especially these down here, probably quite a bit in this palette. These are my kind of colors. The shimmers, I will experiment with these other like coppery shimmers and like the gold up here and see how those work out for me. But right now, I don't know if I think this is like a revolutionary palette that's just so good that everyone needs to run out and buy it. If you need a neutrals palette with some shimmers in it, then this might be like good for you, especially if you like those warm toned kind of neutrals. So right now, on the basis of my first impressions, this isn't exactly a must buy for me, but I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions about this palette down below in the comments. Have you tried it? Have you seen other reviews? I would love to hear anything you guys have to say. But that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so very much for watching. Please go ahead and subscribe if you would not mind. It would mean the absolute world to me. And I just hope you guys have a wonderful, lovely, fantastic day. I'm gonna go get cleaned up a little bit and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!